Hi, we're going to demonstrate the Ruffler Foot, and this is what it looks like. It's a wonderful foot and has lots of features on it, so don't let the size intimidate you. This happens to be a universal foot. It's a low shank foot, and because I'm going to demonstrate it on a Bernina machine, we need to use the shank adapter so that it will work for my Bernina. So let's just talk about the parts. This is called the arm. It needs to be on the needle clamp screw so that the mechanism will work every time the needle goes up and down. Down here you have two black plates, and the top one is the teeth, so we'll be putting our fabric to be ruffled right underneath that. Up here you have some options. There's the number 1, 6, 12, and 0. When you have the lever on the 1, it will pleat with every stitch. When you put it on the 6, it will do 5 straight stitches and then pleat on the 6th. When you have it on the 12, it will do a straight stitch for the first 11 and then pleat only on the 12th. And then if you wanted to do a section with no pleats at all, just put it to the 0. Using the 6 and the 12 is very nice when you don't want the ruffle to be as full, or maybe you just don't have enough fabric to ruffle it very full. Then one other feature is the pleat depth, and that is controlled by the screw. There are some other models of Ruffler feet that have a little dial here that would increase or decrease the pleat depth. So you'll turn the screw to the right to increase the depth, or turn it to the left to decrease the depth. Okay, I'm going to show you how to put the foot on. We have to tilt the foot so that we can get it on the needle clamp screw, and then put it on the post in the back, nice and snug, and then tighten the lever. Okay, the foot's on now. We could change our stitch length if we wanted to. I've got it set at basic, but I could lengthen the stitch length if I want the pleats to be a little further apart, so I'll go ahead and just move it up to the 3. But we could have left it there. Depends on what your fullness ratio is, and I usually will test out a sample first to see what fullness ratio I want. First, I'm going to demonstrate how to ruffle without doing it as a seam. So we'll just put the fabric right side up, right underneath that top black metal plate. Make sure your needle is in the center position, or check it on the kind of machine you have to make sure the needle will go down to that little opening. And then just guide your fabric. So we're pleating with every stitch. If I wanted to change that, I'll show you the 6. You just lift up, move it over to the 6, and now watch the difference. It will click, but that's a normal sound. And it just pleats every 6th stitch. And the same thing would work when you put it on the 12. Okay, we're going to stop that. And now we're going to show you how to sew it to another piece of fabric all in one step. The smaller piece of fabric will go underneath the foot. The piece of fabric that's going to ruffle will be put right side down, right underneath the metal plate, okay, where the teeth are. And then line everything up in this upper right corner and lower the presser foot. We want to keep our eye over here to make sure our seam allowances will, or excuse me, our raw edges will stay lined up. Hold the fabric separately. This top one's going to move faster than the bottom one because that's the one ruffling. We'll change it back to the 1 and first show you how it'll ruffle every stitch. Okay, this is a great time saver because you can ruffle and stitch it to another piece of fabric at the same time. My Ruffler foot seems to be skipping a couple of stitches. If that happens, that means your fabric might be a little slippery. You may need to dampen your fabric. I'm going to stop now and change it to the 6 so you can see the difference in the fullness. Okay, we've run out of fabric on the bottom, so we'll stop, cut our thread tail so you can see the right side. Here is the pleat. It looks different than the gathering foot because this actually folds your fabric. And then over here, obviously it's not as full because I changed it to the 6. Now I could have changed that a little bit in shortening the stitch length, and then those pleats would have been closer together. Okay, so you've got lots of versatility here. Pleat with every stitch, deep pleats, shallow pleats, change your stitch length to get the ratio that you want for your project.